Welcome to Arizona BOS Stories. Thank you for being a part of this unique platform. Thank you for sharing your stories and your pictures. We have just hit 29,000 members, all because of you. You have shared your stories and we are sharing your journey with us. Your pictures are wonderful. Reach out to us if you ever need help with your pictures. We'd be glad to help. Today's episode, we have a U.S. Marine. He is going to take us on a wonderful journey. His story you have to watch. It's a Deported Veterans Advocacy Project. He is going to share some challenges that he's had. Stay tuned. You got to listen to this. Welcome, Milton. Tell me about yourself, but begin by giving us your full name and where you grew up.
Yes, thank you for having me here. Good morning. Like you said, my name is Milton. My last name is Tepeyac. I was in the Marine Corps, and my journey basically started in Scottsdale. I wasn't born here in the States. I was born in Mexico, but my father had the privilege of working there at an equestrian ranch. My childhood, I had to start, kindergarten, all my elementary school, high school there in Scottsdale. I went to Cocopah, Chaparral, Sequoia, Cherokee. I ended up graduating from Chaparral, and shortly thereafter, I decided to join the Marine Corps. I was an immigrant, so I'm like, let's pay it back. Well, more than being a Marine. And
what made you want to join the Marines? What was your mindset in high school?
There was a few of my buddies that wanted to join. So with the buddy program, we all, like 4 of us, joined. One of them made a career out of it. The rest, we just got out. We did 8 years, basically, 4 active, 4 reserve. And it was just a wonderful time. I ended up going to, I did boot camp in MCRD, which is Marine Corps Recruiting Depot, San Diego. I was stationed in Virginia for a little bit to learn my MOS. And then ultimately I was stationed in Camp Pendleton. And I did 2 awesome tours to Iraq, that was pretty much what I did.
Before we get into too much of your journey, when you were away in Iraq or when you were in Virginia, what things did you miss about home? What are some things you missed?
Everything. My family, tacos, being able to go to the store. I mean, when you're over there in harm's way, you really realize that the small things make the big difference, And not only that, I felt proud of myself of what I was doing, because in some small form or fashion, I was protecting everybody back home, and part of the reason that we're out there is so that the people here in the States can have the liberties and freedoms that they have.
So you did 8 years, I believe you said?
Yes.
So once you came back home, what was life like when you came back home?
Well, when I got out, life was a little different because I had to face reality. I had to get a job. It was hard to get a job, but I ended up, getting a job. I ended up actually starting my own company. I was very successful. I had a seafood company called Arizona Star Seafood. Just a working man, The thing with me is I had a situation that happened to me that it got me by surprise, and I didn't really deal with it as I should. And it was a death. It was a death in my family. And
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. And because of that, I kind of went down the wrong path of drugs and addiction, and it got to a point where I was caught buying marijuana from some undercover officers, and that's what ultimately got me in trouble.
And when you say trouble, what does define trouble? What was your sentence? Or
yeah, so I ended up getting 4 years in state prison, and You know, so I had never been to prison before. I had never really been in trouble before, so that was, you know, a shock, you know, to begin with. And but the big shocker was like a couple years in my sentence, I was put on an immigration hold. And I was just like, what does this mean? You know what I mean? Immigration hold.
I was just going to ask you, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, I had a legal permanent resident status. You know, I was always legal when I was here. And so I had to hire an attorney, and I ended up getting deported. You know, I ended up going back to Mexico. I ended up going to Sonora. I was deported to Hermosillo, which is the capital of Sonora. That's where I had, you know, some family. And
so what is your thought process back then? I mean, you're thinking, I can't believe this happened.
Yeah, I mean, the thought process is like, you know, you just get thrown into a place, into a role where you've never been before. And, you know, you hear things, especially living in the States, that, you know, the cartels, and, you know, I have a tattoo of the USMC, and I was in the Marines. They're going to want to, you know, get me to join the cartel. So it was, you know, I had a lot of things going through my mind, you know, I definitely did, but I you know, I laid low. I did what I had to do, and by that I mean, like, I had to get a job. I got my apartment, I got a car. You know, life goes on. So I tried to do
during that time period, did you think, I know I'm going to end up back home? Did you think, oh gosh, I'm here, I'll be here?
That's a good question. Honestly, no. I had given all hopes, because when the government that I was, you know, representing, you know, they decided to kick me out, I was like, man, if they're going to kick me out, then that's it. I'm done. Right? So that's a good question, because I had given up hope on that until I was introduced to some people in Tijuana, and they were deported veterans. Matter of fact, I've got their shirt on. It's the Deported Veterans Advocacy Project.
Tell me about this.
Well, you know, I didn't really know too much about it. But they were veterans that were in in my situation, where they had gotten deported as well. So, like, my first time over there, I ended up taking a bus to go out there because they said they were going to cross us over and give us COVID shots. I really didn't believe it, but I'm like, I might as well go and see if it's true. And sure enough, they crossed us over, gave us COVID shots. You know, I went into the States again. I was like, wow, I'm in the States again. Got my COVID shot and came back to Mexico. Well, I'll tell you what, when I got back into Mexico, it's like that COVID shot. It was like a shot of, like,
hope,
a shot of energy again. A hope, you know, of being able. I'm like, I might just go home again. So after that, I never I never took the bus back again, because it took so long. I flew probably, like, you know, 2 or 3 times. There was I think her name was Monica Rodriguez. She represents California, LA. She went out there to speak to us, so I had to fly out there for her as well. And yeah, I mean, she came and she brought us, you know, care packages, and more importantly, that hope, you know, that there's people, you know, in politics, in the American government that know about us and that are trying to get us back. And then, so yeah, I mean, that just gave me more hopes as well.
So is it a matter of filling out papers, or is it a matter of speaking to the right people? How is it you are here today with us?
Well, you know what? I'm here because of my sister and myself. We filled out a humanitarian parole document online, and mainly because of my health reasons, that, you know, my high blood pressure, and, you know, that I needed my sleep apnea, that I need to get checked up. And they granted me parole. So I've been here since August of 2022. Yeah. So I've been here since last August, and
tell me, what was that like, walking across?
Wow. It was just a surreal experience, almost like coming back from a deployment. Because when you're gone for 9 months, you know, a year, and you come back to the States, you're so happy and full of, you know, emotions, and you could multiply that times 10, because I had been gone for 10 years. I had been deported for over 10 years. So when I came across, wow, my family was there. One of the deported veterans who had just gotten back, Alex, was there.
Murillo,
my friends from high school, my old boss was there. it was an awesome feeling. I mean, it was just like I'm home. I'm home.
Now, are you home for good, or are there stipulations?
So that's the thing. I hope that I'm home for good, but not yet. So here's the thing. Right now, as we speak, I don't have a legal status. I'm not a resident alien. I'm not a temporary resident. I'm not a permanent resident. I'm just like, I'm on a humanitarian. I mean, I'm not here illegally. I'm here legally through humanitarian parole. The Department of Homeland Security knows I'm here. Everybody knows I'm here. They just know that I'm going through some medical, issues with the VA right now. And as a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, I just filed for another extension for another year, because ultimately what I'm trying to do, now that I'm here, I'm trying to figure out what I need to do to stay here. That's why it's so important for me to be here, because people need to know that these things happen to us. And, I don't know if I have to go to Katie Hobbs so that she can help me. I don't know if I need to just, volunteer. I don't know how to show the people that I belong here. I just don't know how to do it.
Are you still affiliated with other people in Tijuana that are trying to get over?
I am because Hector Lopez is still down there, right? So I talked and I message him back and forth. I still talk to Alex Murillo here in Phoenix, Robert Vivar in California. As a matter of fact, I was just in California a few months ago in Barrio Logan, because they had an event for us as well. So it's important to raise awareness, right? So wherever I know that, hey, there's going to be an event, I try to go. Even if it's in California, I'll go.
Before we close, or as we close, say something to the audience. If there's somebody out there, if they have a loved one out there, or speak to that person that is going through the same situation that you've just experienced.
All right. Well, I'm not the only one that this has happened to. It's happened to a lot of people. As a matter of fact, we don't know how many veterans have been deported. We're still trying to identify how many, where they're at. And but ultimately, right now, there is an opportunity to come home. It's through humanitarian parole, right? Once you do get approved and you cross over, then it's just important to try to figure out what you need to do to permanently stay here. All right, like me, I already have a work permit. All right, I have a job. I work for Cromaloy here in Arizona. Just be active, be proactive, because nothing's going to happen if you just sit there and not do anything. You have to be proactive to get things done. So, I'm an example.
And don't give up.
Yeah, no, and don't give up, because I'm an example. I never thought I'd be here again, and here I am in downtown Phoenix. Thank God.
I want to thank you for being a part of our show today, and I wish you luck. Stay in contact with us, okay?
Thank you very much. I will stay in contact with you guys.
And
thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being a part of Arizona Barrio Stories.
Thank you.
We are closing, and maybe you know somebody that's in the same situation. Maybe it's you that needs help. Don't ever give up. Don't forget, we want to share and tell your story. Your story is important. Don't let anybody tell your story. You need to tell your story. This is Irma from Arizona Barrio Stories, and as always, I will see you soon.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby.